Yo, guys, welcome back to this week's episode of the JBK podcast. We unfortunately are remembered down due to one of us being at work, but you are back at the 1% of the podcast in the whole of the world. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that, but I do now.
We do now. I'd like to say a massive shout out to you guys listening on Spotify, a massive shout out to you guys that are joining us live on Facebook. And for those of you that don't know, we do have our YouTube channel. But got to give a massive shout out to our sponsor of the podcast, which is Northwest Plumbing and Heating, Lakeside Fire and Security, TNT Records, and Transform Physique Gym. And we are at the home of the podcast at the night. Make sure you check all those out. They will be in the description after the podcast. But we're back. How's it feel for you guys? We're back. And now the music's on. For those of you that are on Spotify.
Dun, dun, dun.
We have a YouTube, Joshua. Yeah, make sure. Well, we're looking for an editor eventually. We don't know how far it's going to go on that, but we are venturing out. Like I say, it's a bit. We don't have a software at the moment that mixes it all together. What we do is we just record on Streamlabs and then just upload the live video to YouTube for those of you that miss it on Facebook. But yeah,
No, I'll go first.
go on.
Ben, how was Friday? Considering it was your birthday.
Start the music again. It was my birthday on Friday. Get it on. Get it on there. There we go, baby. Yeah, Friday. It was man's birthday. So, yeah, it was my 29th birthday on Friday, for those of you that don't know. Thursday, so my family was up for my fiance's, well, our baby shower, but it's for women baby showers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not for the men. But yeah, so my family was up from down south, so down there. So Thursday night. Very, very messy. It sort of ruined me for Friday and Saturday, if I'm being completely honest with you.
I just don't think you were drunk on Friday, to be fair.
I couldn't get drunk.
And how many pints of Guinness did you have? I'm going to say closer to 20 mark, if not more.
Put it this way, we did a few, didn't we? It was definitely around that point.
I had about 12.
Like I say, my dad on Thursday tucked him up away. Oh, no. Oh, he's watching. Oh, all right, that's ironic. Yeah, for those of you guys watching the podcast, my dad's going to spout a lot of crap in the comments. He's going to say he took me away with a Guinness and all the rest of it. No. I've got a picture that says otherwise where he looks very tired. No. So the best part about it was, like I say, we had a good night Thursday. Like I say, Friday was good to go out with you guys, and Saturday was topped it off, really. We had a folded you like a pretzel, my dad said. Yeah. I knew he was going to say. So what we ended up doing on Saturday was probably actually the best night for me. We all...
Chilled out, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I met up with some of Dad's mates who he knows. Saturday we went to his apartment where he was staying and got a takeaway, got some beers, and we all just chatted. You know, it was actually really, really nice. But
Good.
he stayed at Abbey Apartments.
See, I've never seen them or any pictures are out, but apparently they're meant to be dead nice.
Yeah, so I think you could stay there for £300 a week. So as a contract there, it's a mate. There's 2 bedrooms in it, 2 years, £600 a month. Sky's in there as well. Got a full Sky package, but honestly, it is absolutely ridiculous. If you see one of those fleas, mate, make sure you grab that because it's doing me head in. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Literally across from the Bar Continental in Barrow-in-Furness, it is literally ridiculous of how good it is. It's all clean, all spacious, really nice. It was a good find because we stayed at a spot in Manchester that's almost like a uni student complex.
Yeah.
Get it. Oh, too slow. Yeah, for those of you that are on Spotify that are listening live, we will be trying to kill midges during the podcast. So if you hear
I might just zone out and just focus on the midgie.
So if you hear it, it's us grunting. We're out of breath trying to kill him. But
Because Ben slapped me across the back of the head.
yeah, one of the two, mate. But yeah, the weekend was great. Like I say, that I can't really fault it. Bit the big 2-9 now, mate. I really can't. I can't. Do you get it? No. Oh, it was quicker than you. Yeah, no, the weekend was really good, mate. I really enjoyed myself. I just sometimes wish it was every weekend like that. Not heavy on the beer. I mean, obviously seeing Dad and getting us all together, because there's going to be one day where it doesn't happen. And like I say, there's going to be one day where there's going to be a member short, and it's not going to be the same. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it takes precedent over everything when they're up. But yeah, it was good for me. Good to see my mum as well. Like I say, she's suffering from vertigo at the moment, so it's she nearly didn't come up. It was that bad, and they've cancelled the holiday to Mexico that they were due to go to at the start of
Yeah.
September. So it's bad, mate. But yeah, so she even came up. But
It's the first time I've ever met her, to be honest.
oh, she's one of a kind, mate. Put it that way. So we do have a few live questions or comments from Facebook. Like I say, for those of you that are on Spotify that are just listening, make sure you go and check our page out on Facebook. Type in the JBK podcast. We do go live with a video on there every week. And I found out actually
Go on.
that apparently we can put the video on Spotify.
Well, I told you that you could. But
Yeah.
I didn't know how you do it.
And Josh did it as well. Josh told me that you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and upload the video version into our platform that puts it on Spotify and see if it works. And I'm going to try it tonight. But yeah, we do have a few comments on Facebook. Dad, my dad has said, "Where's Moll?" So
Difficult.
yeah, Moll, I don't know where he is. How's Moll getting on with his health regime? Yeah, so Jordan, well, Moll has just put a video up on YouTube. Dad, go and check it out. Type in just Moll on YouTube. It's JUS space MOL. I'll go up with his Facebook and there's a link to it. There was a video and you and him with her at the gym later one of the nights.
I think the last 3 videos that he's put on, so his newest one and the last 2 before that have got me in it.
Yeah, I know you were. I know you were there one of the nights, weren't you? And I think I joined live when it premiered when I was in work. I think I was about 40 minutes late. So when I scrolled through Facebook and it was there, I clicked on it and I think I joined where you were doing a shoulder press or something. And every time I watched it, I just thought your shoulder's going to break here. I'm just like you needed to be lower. You were too high for the machine, which is why you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was sat there screaming I was sat there screaming live like. I think I heard you say. I think we could swear. No, we won't swear. But he said it was that FU G is too heavy or something. I lip read or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, he's by the looks of it, he's continuing on, and it's going to be a slow process. But
Funniest part about that, I think I'll probably cut it out. But shoulder press, obviously, I could reach it, pull it down, and sit down and do my set. I had to stand over the back of Mole and pull it down for him.
yeah, that's well, that means it's too low for him.
No, he literally could not reach the bar 'cause it was literally right at the top.
Ah, right. So what? So we do have more comments. So Josh has said playing the new Call of Duty, Tony. Yeah. So that no, I don't think No, he was playing the beta one. The new COD's not out yet. I mean, there was a beta. Yeah, I think he was playing the beta. Josh.
He's on PlayStation, so I don't know whether they've got early access.
Mol was lifting. Kia was watching. Well, that's usually what you do, Josh, in it when the other person's lifting.
What do you want me to do? Tickle his ass crack?
Tony. Oh, sorry, Tony. But once again, I'm going to say Dad. For those of you that know, it's Tony. If you watch on Facebook, is there no booster seats at the gym? There probably is booster seats at the gym, but like I say, he's not the tallest of gents. But like I say, the main thing is he's still going, and even if he needs help pulling a machine down, at least he's still doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, at least he's asking and not struggling.
May, I say, glad you had a good birthday. Thank you very much. Like I say, it was great. The only downside, really, for me, was that some of the other family couldn't come up because they couldn't get time off work.
Yeah.
We have the one and only dad. He's in here. And his comments just said, yes, Molly's on. So how do, boys? Yeah, mate, we are absolutely spot on. My dad's come in asking how you are, and he's just asked about your health regime. We're just saying, obviously, I've just watched your most recent video. For those of you guys that are watching that are interested in watching Mol's sort of transformation and lifestyle change over the next year or two, or potentially whole life, where we're, if
there's two of the fuckers now.
midges, you'll get them. They'll just fly around the cork, mate, because of the sugar. But yeah. For those of you that are interested in watching, go over to his Facebook page and add him as a friend, or because he posts on there when it's going live. Or if you have YouTube, go on to Just Mol on YouTube and subscribe to his channel and watch it through there. Like I say, I watched it today. I clicked. Like I say, I was late when it was premiered. But I joined about 40 minutes in, and it was live as it was watching. And then, like I say, I'd seen you two there. Josh, you shouldn't do that. Move the seat. Yeah, no, I agree. So, Kia, your seat when you were doing it was too high, which is why you were struggling. You were practically doing, for those of you that are on the video, it was a machine that's like this. Kia was doing this. You were sat too high. you need it to be lower because you're bigger. You and Moll shouldn't be able to have the same seat adjustment. You should be changing it each time. And you were both using the same seat. So it might have benefited Moll, but for you, no wonder you couldn't lift it on your shoulder. I was screaming at the bloody phone.
Well, next time, just phone me.
Yeah, we'll do. Yes, Molly's on. Yeah, so Molly's back, ladies and gents. He always supports the podcast as and when he is available. I know he does work a lot, but yeah, the main topic of today, and it's quite a big one, Keith, isn't it?
I got it. I don't know where it's gone though. Sorry. Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah.
It is. That's how I was lifting you up Thursday night. That's why his bicep tore from his fucking tendon because he was lifting me up. No, yeah. So, would you like to inform the people of what's changed over the past few days? What's gone on?
Signed for my own flat on Saturday.
How do you feel?
Relieved
How so?
because I finally got it's somewhere that's my own, and I've got my own space. And obviously, staying at a friend's house at the moment, I'm not like,
Fully in yet?
yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's like I'm giving him his house back technically as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not there anymore. I won't be there anymore as of like coming to the end of this week.
Yeah, I mean, as nice as it is, obviously him letting you stay there while you were waiting to get a house. It's not. So me and Beth had this same problem when we were staying at her mum's house when my mum kicked me and my brother out. We just lived in her bedroom. It doesn't matter how much they're welcoming, and they really are. You know what I mean? They're really welcome. Her mum was so welcoming to us. I can't even complain really.
Yeah.
But like I say, the problem for us in general was it's not you're out. You
No.
can't even just. It sounds so stupid, but like I say, that they've got us. They've got so best bedroom where it was, and then literally you go out the door, and just to the right, literally with an arm length away, the bathroom is there. So in the night, I'd used to just everyone was asleep. I'd walk out of that either in boxer shorts or I'd walk over it naked, just quickly, because I'm not getting changed out of bed in the middle of the night to go for a pee to then get unchanged to get back in bed. There'd be occasional times where someone would be there, and I'm like, shit. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't, and it's just little things like that. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah. I know exactly
it's just
what you mean.
rather annoying. And we do have a comment from Mol. As always, thank you for all love and support, lads. Truly does mean the world to me. Hope always well, Kia. Congrats with the flat. Looking forward to the next gym session. And Big Ben, get yourself there soon. Mate, don't you worry about that, son.
There's a lot been going on in the background.
Like I say, there's a, for us, like I say, for Kia, there's been a lot going on. But the main one is, mate, like you say, you're getting your own spot. So have you got a rough date, or you've got your own spot, sorry, is there a rough date you're looking at trying to move everything over, or are you just doing it as and when?
I'm gonna try and get everything I've got. Obviously, I know there's still some bits at her at Katie's house that I couldn't take with me, and she said she was fine with keeping it there. It's ready to be collected. It's just go out and get it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so without going into too much detail, obviously, people can judge that by themselves. We won't go into detail, mate, 'cause it's your business. But obviously, as you can see, there is a reason why Kia has his own flat now. Unfortunately, that you aren't together anymore.
No.
But
Going forward, like when I look at it, obviously there was a lot of times, there was a lot of years we were together. Do you know what I mean? But I think me and her just like come to the acceptance between ourselves. It's for the better. Just be there for Harrison.
that's mate, that is the absolute best. And obviously, my dad's in the. If he's still watching now, can be pure witness to what it's like down the line. It'll be short term pain for long term gain. Do you know what I mean? And by that I mean it sucks now. It'll probably suck for a few more years, but when Harrison's older and he'll understand that used to are potentially happy with other people, remarried and more kids or whatever, and he'll look and he'll go, I'm so glad that you and me mum aren't together anymore. Because I look at that like my dad now. I look at my dad now and I'm like, I'm so glad him and my mum aren't together anymore.
Yeah.
And it's because they're both happy individually. So for me, mate, like I say, I'm dead happy that you've got your own spot because I know that was one of the big things that was, playing on your mind. It's obviously it's a big expense to do straight off the bat, but that's the reason as well why I was asking, have you got a specific date in mind? Because obviously you want to be living in there when you're paying for it, don't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just literally throwing money away while you're not even living in there. So have you got?
Exactly. Yeah.
So what is the plan? As in,
So
like, it's
what I'll be in around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, roughly.
this week?
Yeah, because
Right.
we've got Harrison this Friday, Saturday, overnight.
So well. You might have to go out and do something. 'Cause you won't have any internet around, will you?
No.
No, so obviously there'll be no telly. There might be a telly in there, but there'll be no internet or anything.
Well, no,
But that's
I've got my phone internet, but
yeah, it's not.
not as good.
No, is it not? But like I say, mate, it's just baby steps at the end of the day. You're not gonna Rome wasn't built in a day, and you're not gonna get your flat to where you want probably in months. There'll be little things that you'll want to change, whether it's putting a fucking mirror on the wall or it's getting a rug or you wanna do something different. It will eventually come to where you're sat there and you're thinking, this is purely my own.
Yeah.
Whereas that's always the trouble sometimes, and people always say it isn't, but it definitely is a struggle. That when you're independent in a sense and you're living with someone, even when you're living with someone, you're sitting there sometimes thinking, I wish I had my own space.
Yeah.
Beth will think it now, 100%. But Beth will 100% sometimes think that, and I don't hate her for that. I mean, it's sometimes very annoying when you're living with someone all the time. Obviously, I know for you it's a bit of a different circumstance, which is why obviously had to get your own spots or
Yeah.
whatever. But even with me and Beth being together still, and we're always going to be in my mind, there's always going to be days where I'm like, I wish I was on my own today.
Everyone goes like that though.
And it's sometimes
I think that's just a human nature. To be fair.
the thing is that brings us on to a good point, sort of like dovetailing off that. Is it, or is it just a case of certain people won't admit it? Because I think that it's normal to think like that, and I'd be very surprised if I asked Beth and she said to me, there is never one thing that comes across my mind where I'm thinking, oh, I want to be on my own. And it's not, but by on her own, I mean, not away from me. I mean, where she'll want the house to herself.
Yeah.
I love it when she goes away or stays at her mum's house.
Yeah, because you're on your own, and
Well, I get to sit there, Starco,
it all dep-
and get a pizza, and then play hide the fitter all on my own. Do you-
it all depends if you enjoy your own company, in a sense. Do you know what I mean?
I do 100%. I could happily, and I think that's one thing that Beth really does love about me. As much as she might say that it's different and sometimes it's difficult, I would go and sit in a restaurant on my own. It does not bother me one thing, and I don't care about any of that stuff. I'll go to cinema on my own. I'll go and watch a movie. I'll go to a restaurant by my own. Like I think I get that with my dad.
Well, it's like me. Like last night and then last Sunday, I went to the cinema with a friend, and we were having a conversation, and they asked me, "Would I go to the cinema on my own?" Yeah, probably would.
I mean, I'd have to be next level bored though when we've got Xboxes and porn and that at home.
To be fair, my Xbox has been in the box for the last month and a half.
I know, but the second you get it out the box, the bug will be back, and it'll be COD, and it'll be Warzone, and it'll be Halo, and then it'll be or whatever. And don't forget though as well, when you're in your own flat and you've got no one else there,
Oh yeah, I suppose it's different, isn't it?
you'll want your Xbox up just even for films and YouTube.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Or you'll have a Fire Stick and you'll watch movies because there's always going to be times where you are on your own.
yeah,
There'll be times where Harrison isn't there, or it's your night away from Harrison and you're staying in for the week, or you've done overtime and you're knackered of a night time and you'll want to just load your Xbox up in your living room, sit and chill out, watch YouTube or watch a movie or speak to your mates or play a game or whatever. It's just obviously at the moment you've been in that mindset I was sort of in with when me and Beth were at her mum's house. I just felt like it's not my spot, so I didn't really want to be screaming on the Xbox or
Yeah.
laughing or on it for a few hours because you might be wanted. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Also, hope you lads. We do have another comment on Facebook actually. Also, hope you enjoyed the episode this week. Made a lot of progress now, and the fun is only just beginning. So, Mal, I haven't watched it all from start to finish yet. Like I say,
Squeaky floor one.
stepped on a frog. So no, I only joined in. Only managed to catch it at 40 minutes onwards, and I think I could only watch it for 10, 15 minutes after that. But the main one is, mate, is that you're consistent. It's not about whether you enjoy it. It's not about whether anyone else enjoys it. It's not about even you liking going to the gym. You just go. It's about staying consistent. You don't have to like doing something to be consistent at it. Do you know what I mean? And I think who was it who said it? There was a quote that I'd read, and it was about the gym, but it was just about anything. You're not gonna like everything you do, but you should just do it as like you love it.
Wasn't Andrew Tate, was it?
I think it was Mike Tyson. He said, "Do something you hate, but pretend you love it."
Yeah.
And
I
that's
think I know which one you're on about.
yeah. And I think it was about obviously when he was getting up and running at 4 o'clock in the morning. He said, "Nobody wants to run at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I'm doing it as though I love it."
Yeah.
because it's not always about being happy. You don't.
No, it isn't.
No one deserves to go through life being only happy. You can't. It's impossible. You can't do it, and that's the same as being consistent with anything you do, whether that's with your job, whether that's your attendance, whether that's your punctuality, whether that's your gym or your streaming or Mole's YouTube or whatever. It can be anything. You just need to stay consistent regardless of whether you like it or you don't, because consistency is a key in it. But
Yeah, it is.
yeah, the other one, mate, is
Um,
what is your opinion on me being a dad potentially in 4 week?
Honest opinion, I think you're gonna be shit up.
I hope so,
Well,
mate.
when you first told me, I was happy as a pig in shit for you because I looked at myself and I looked at you, and I thought obviously over the years I've always looked up to you anyway because you've always like tried to set me on the right path, and do you know what I mean? And I've looked at myself and I looked at you and I'm like,
It's what my friends are supposed to do,
I
though,
was like,
mate, isn't it?
if I can do it, I'm pretty sure Ben would be able to do it.
Yeah, I do think though you should give yourself some credit as well, because I think and this is, and you know me, I'll be honest, I don't think you were even as prepared as we are.
Oh mate, literally when she told me I was at work and I'd hung. She told me, "Oh, it's come back like positive 2 lines." I'd hung the phone up on it because I was at work and I didn't know how to respond.
Yeah,
And she tried to ring me like God knows how many times. After that, I just rejected it.
so I remember when you told me, and oh my God, there's loads of them. Look at them all. Like, have we got? Sorry, bear with one sec. Can you grab a tissue? Go grab that roll of tissue. Watch the leads on it. So sorry for you guys watching. Bear with. We've been infested with either fruit flies or something. So yeah, just while we're doing it, so they don't sit on the cork, I'm just gonna put a little paper towel over the top so they don't get on. But yeah, uh, big pappy Ben. Yeah, I'm really really excited, and I'm not nervous at all, because like you said, and it's almost like a good way, but also not being like an arrogant or cocky way. Beth is very very organised, as in general. She panics and she'll. We've done the baby's room early. Like, he won't be in there for like another 8 months, but it's done.
At least it's done. Out
Like
of
I
it.
say, we got a very supportive family. Her mum's, it's like it's her child, you know. She loves it. That she's always wanted a grandkid, and now her daughter's having one. I understand it. My dad is absolutely buzzing. My granddad's buzzing. My mum's buzzing, and that's my dad's side. I mean, so my stepmom, I don't like saying stepmom because she's like a mum to me, and she is a mum to me. So I say mum. Uh, Everyone's just buzzing, but it's also that I feel the right time.
Yeah.
I feel it's right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm at the right age. We're at the
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
stage in our life. We have a house. We have a mortgage. We've been there 3.5 years. We've done holidays. We're engaged. We've done it so called right. If you were to go off the book of what you were
Yeah. Yeah.
supposed to do, it's just sort of been like a beautiful harmony, really, like a process of the way it's happened. But on the other hand, I've looked at it in a way where it sounds bad, but it isn't. There's a lot worse people than me, and then a bit are in a worse position than me and Beth and my friends and so on, that have had multiple kids and they're okay. So that
Yeah.
gives me a bit of like hope in my own abilities as well, because I never doubt myself. What I doubt is certain circumstances I know are going to stress me out, but I've got the mindset now to cope with it. I was worried at first because I'm thinking, I hope I don't turn into what I used to be like, where my temper was a second away from changing.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know what it is. It's just, Beth said it. She, like, when it comes to kids, I just seem to have, like, when I watched Kevin Bridges last night, and he says a joke about, like, when you meet those people that just have like a natural rapport with like kids, animals, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've realised that's me. Like with Harrison, like I've never really dealt with kids before, but I just seem to have like a natural rapport with
Well,
kids.
look, by the time of Harrison, you were hanging by his foot upside down.
Yeah, it's only because the blood goes to his head, so he stops thinking for a second.
Don't think anyway. I'm his dad.
But that's what Dad used to, that Dad was, and I attribute a lot of my success now, and attribute all my future success to the way we were brought up. And this is what I was saying to you before. So you look at it in the situation when my dad left because he wasn't happy in it, and so on. He took a big risk. He had a feeling, and he lost us for a few years. But I look at that now and I think he's got a big set on him. left his kids, everything he knew because he wasn't happy and took the risk. He said, I risked losing you for 4 years to have you for 40. And I look now and I'm like, I want to parent my kids the way he did us.
That's the same as me. I want to bring Harrison up how I was brought up. So I'd never hit him. Do you know what I mean?
I would. Not, and when I mean hit, by the way, I need to clarify for those of you watching because long gone are the days now where it's even accepted. But if you think for 1 second that I'm not going to smack his leg, smack his hand, if he tries to put his hand in the fire, or he's doing something, or he's being naughty, a, a
No,
little
I get that. I
a little
understand
tap
that.
on the back
Yeah.
of his legs, on his feet, on his hand, that's fine. I don't agree with what I got, where I got slapped by my mum across the face and uppercutted my brother and all the rest of it. But
Slip it at the back of the head for me off my mum.
or a ball, I've had that before. But we do also have some more comments. So Jordan Molyneux said, couldn't be happier for you both. And Beth, I truly believe you both have got to be amazing parents. If you can put up with me as a kid, it is easy, mate. Yeah, Mol, I appreciate that. I mean, putting up with you is probably not the right phrase. We tolerate you. I'd say that. Sue Gill. So usual smash being parents, Ben. I hope so, Sue. I really do. I mean, I've got to attribute a lot of it to Beth. I know Beth's going to be absolutely unbelievable. It's not even a question. Like, I don't doubt. If I was to ever doubt anybody, it'd be myself. But I do not doubt Beth for 1 second at all. She's an absolute psycho. And by that, I mean, everything is going to be organised. She's labelled up the drawers for me of what's in what drawer. The wardrobe's organised. She's put everything away. She's not due for a week.
Yeah, but at least she's forward thinking.
Yeah, but shit's going to hit the fan when he's here. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get it, but I'm very sort of what will be, and she's very like, say for instance last night. So I went to put the milk carton. I put the milk carton on the side. Oh no, that's Sue. I never doubt myself now, but I mean, if there was going to be anybody out the two of us to doubt, it would be me because I don't, and I think that goes for everybody who knows Beth. I don't think anyone would doubt her at all being a parent. I think if anything, to potentially deal with certain stuff, you would doubt me. And I'm not saying I do doubt myself, but if you were going to out the two, it'd be me, and that's fine by me because I can understand. But last night's milk carton. Finished it, put it on the side. I said, I'll put it out in the bin or I'll put it out in the back street bin in the morning when we go to bed. No, we're not tramps. What do you mean we're not tramps? No one's here. No, I don't care. We don't leave stuff on the side. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But you'll go to bed now, same as me. And I'm up before you and left the house before you're awake sometimes. So what difference does it make if it goes out now or it goes out first thing in the morning?
Doesn't.
She won't sleep. She won't sleep. She'll let it wind her up. She'll know it's there and have to move it.
Christ.
And that's how I know everything is going to be organised. There's going to be a schedule wrote out. He's going to have a routine within a week. Everything's going to be on the clock. There's going to be timers, stopwatches everywhere.
Wearing shirt and tie in a fucking month.
He needs to be ready for jobs, mate. You never know. No, but oh, bless our boo is awesome. Yeah, so can't even doubt it. Not for 1 minute. I mean, if there was any doubts at all about her as a parent or her as a person or anything, I wouldn't be with her. And I've been open and honest with her about that. I mean, I honestly can't remember the last time we argued. I know arguments are healthy, but we are so good at communicating now, the good and the bad. We never argue. Because I was very big on arguing a long time ago.
I know you were. Because you'd argue with your mates over fuck all as well.
I'd argue with him because I cared, but then I was getting too invested in other people's shit. And then it was the same as Beth. So when she used to work at her old spot, she was getting mugged off. Her wage was shit for the hours she was doing. I'd argue with her countless times over it. Like, she'd moan at me for going out on a weekend, but then she'd work every weekend under the sun and stay there till 2 in the morning. I'm like, what difference does it make anyway? I'm out, you're in work.
Doesn't make a difference.
No, but this is what I'm saying. So I would argue the toss with her about leave the job. Trust me when you leave it. Trust me, just believe me. When you leave it and you're getting the same money for less hours, half the hours, and you've got all this spare time, you'll sit there and you'll go, why didn't I listen to him sooner? And that's what my issue was a long time ago, trying to convince her to just listen to me.
Yeah.
Whereas now, which you do, in time is, time's the only thing that's undefeated. And in time, you learn how to communicate better with your partner, don't you? It's a process. Me and Beth actively work on it every day. It's not always great. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but
It works out in the end.
because we make it.
Exactly. And you know, it's one of them. Every relationship, communication is key. One of the big main keys is communication.
Thing is, people say that though, but then don't actively work on it. So,
Well, yeah, just saying it and doing it's completely different.
and ours, and Sue probably won't want to hear this, but ours is with everything. Everything. Communication, whether it's fuck me, if you wipe the toilet seat, it's fucking minging. Have you put deodorant on? Have you brushed it? It's just like, and for both of us, it's like just and even fucking sex and that. Like speaking about, are you happy? Are you uncomfortable? Do you know what I mean? Just everything. Like, do you want to watch a movie? Are you comfortable sitting like that? Just everything. And we actively, I honestly think we are probably one of the few people that literally actively work on it.
No, exactly.
And we're both not afraid to say we're wrong either. Beth,
That's good.
and Beth will admit this. She struggled for a long time. It was her thing. She struggled to say sorry or not stand up for herself, I'd say. But sometimes I'd argue with her, but I'd want her to argue back so I knew how she felt.
Yeah.
She wouldn't give me anything. She wouldn't argue. She'd just walk off, and that drove me insane because it's like you're not solving anything.
You're not communicating.
You're running from your problems. Now she sits there, not holds her own because that sounds like we're fucking going at each other. But what she does is she'll sit and we'll have a nice conversation, and whether it's difficult. Sometimes it's been about bill money. It's like, right, we need to put this money away. Okay, what have you spent this month? And then she'll go, I've spent a bit too much on this. And it's like, right, okay, I should have maybe gone up. But like, it's the conversations which I think is going to help
Yeah, well, of course.
being a parent.
Well, yeah,
And, and I think that stems though from her parents splitting up when she was young, and my parents splitting up when they were young, and looking at them now.
Yeah.
Uh,
So obviously my parents split when I was 8,
Same as Beth, yeah. So my parents when I was 10, so it was around the same age.
and my mum gave me the ultimatum when I was 8 years old. You can live with me or you can live with your dad.
Now I disagree with that. I agree and disagree with that.
Well, that's because she knew how close me and my dad were.
I know, but ultimatums you should never give. That's like me saying to Beth, it's either you pick me or your mate. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the sort of thing that I don't know. I agree because I can't really disagree because I don't know the situation because I'm not in it. But what I will say is, giving ultimatums is never a good thing.
Well, no, it's not. But
because just think if you don't choose that, is your relationship gone with that? But if you do choose that, you can't be wrong for right. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't.
So Jesus, that's how you should sound.
That's because I'm like this then.
Yeah. So Sue, we do also have some more comments on Mol. Josh working lads. Yeah, he's away. Mol. I'd actually forgot until this morning that he was actually working away. But yeah, he's working away. Sue, that's you looking out for her. She's lucky to have you as you are to have her. Yeah. No, she compliments me better, and it's not even close the other way around. I know for 100%, and this isn't like I say arrogance or anything. I know that I'm a good person, and I know I bring a lot to the table, right? Including length. No, all jokes aside, I know, like in general, I know I can bring a lot to a table, but she is like, I honestly think when I sit back and I think of like how we first met, and I literally chased her for 6 months, and she weren't having any of it, and then I sit there and I think,
I remember you telling me that you were head over heels for her.
oh man, I was gone. 100. I never felt out like it. It was the first time that I'd ever been nervous to even like hug someone, kiss her, hold her hand. Like we went to town one day when we were just mates at the time, and I'd offered to buy her food. She wouldn't eat in front of me, and she wouldn't accept anything. And I was like, I had to borrow money to go out to town to buy her, just to see her sometimes, like all the rest of it. And then literally when we got there, I'd started having a bit more belief in myself then.
Yeah.
But she was literally like a completely different person, and now I'm so proud of the woman she's become. Do you know what I mean? And especially the mum she's going to become. So for me, she compliments me 100%. Like I feel powerful with her on my side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once again, without being horrible, I also know that if the worst was to ever happen, I'd also be okay. Do you know what I mean? I'd struggle a lot, but I also know that my mental is like unbreakable now after what I've been through in the past.
Well,
so
you said it to me, didn't you? When first happened with me, you'll be all right.
In time,
you like, I promise you'll be all right. And now look at me.
Time is a healer, mate. And at the end of the day, it's hard to see the gold at the end of the tunnel when you're in the storm.
Yeah.
and it's hard to see. It's hard to see the rainbow at the end when you're in the storm, or it's hard to see 2, 3, 4 months down the line because you're living in the present moment. You still have to
Yeah.
go to bed every night and wake up and it's still fresh and all the rest of it. But
Obviously, you know the situation I'm in at the moment.
yeah,
Not just about like obviously myself,
yeah,
not the flat situation, but the other situation.
yeah.
And this is probably the happiest I've been in I don't know how long.
But you say you'd speak to obviously you Katie, and like I say, we're not talking about it in depth too much, but she'd probably say the same.
Probably would.
And at the end of the day,
Don't get me wrong, right? This may come across a bit thingy, but I'm glad she's happy.
of course, well, I'd be very disappointed if you weren't. She's a mother of your kid,
Well, yeah.
so
No, I'm just saying because I know
oh yeah,
some people kick
yes,
off and go, oh, I don't
yeah.
need
Some people are bitter about it. Some people are, oh, I want a fucking suffer or all this shit, or vice versa. And the way I see it is, you have created something together that's for life, and it's your boy. So regardless of whether she fucking remarries or she goes through 40 men or whatever, or vice versa, ultimately all you should want is health and happiness to the mother of your kid and your father of your kid or whatever.
Yeah.
But some people aren't like that, and that just shows though your level of maturity towards it as well.
Obviously, conversations going forward, I've said Harrison only.
My dad said that for a long time, and my mum also said that to me dad. So they communicated as well. There was times where it was difficult, where they didn't. There was also, that, and it just happens. But it's one of them. I'm proud of you, put it that way, and I'm also happy that you're happy. Do you know what I mean? Because
The way I see it at the moment, with me, it's I'm happy. I've come a long way since everything's happened.
still a long way to go.
Still a long way to go, but looking forward, all I can see is like happiness at this moment in time.
Which is good, but it's also good that you're not fully, and when I say immersed in it, I mean it's good that you're not fully unaware that it's not always going to be happy. There's
No.
going to be times again of struggle, and I like that you're aware of that because that shows to me once again that you've turned another corner in maturity levels. Because when it's everything's going great, it's always good. Well, it's almost impossible to think that it won't go
Yeah.
bad, and the fact that you're sort of blissfully aware of that, that also indicates to me that you are, your emotional maturity for sure has turned another corner. And I think though it needed to be sort of broken for you to realise it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, mate, I'm just dead excited now. All I'm hoping is 10 fingers, 10 toes, crying from both of us and the baby, and that's all I'm hoping for now. All the other stuff's done. Everything's done now. Now it's just the hardest part. Well, not for me, for Beth.
I want to recreate that picture that I got you and Harrison when you first come up to see Harrison.
Yeah, yeah. I there's one picture on my mind and one picture only. The 4 generation picture.
Oh, it's
100% legacy building that, and then I think if it goes well, I'm going to get it tattooed across my back.
yeah. See, I missed that opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know there's plenty of people that would have killed for that opportunity, and
I would have.
I'm lucky enough. Touch wood. I'm lucky enough that that's still a possibility. So for me, I'm going to grab it with both hands straight away because tomorrow's not promised.
Nope.
For all we know, I could go tomorrow. For all we know, my granddad could go tomorrow, or my dad, or my brother, or you. Any of us could go tomorrow. So for me, the one picture I want, second he's born or the day or two after, straight around my granddad's. My dad's up for when he's born. My brother will be there. I want the pic.
Your brother will be there with a Gucci tracksuit in hand.
Well, he's bought him an outfit from when he's like 8 by mistake.
Fuck's sake.
He was supposed to say like 3 to 9 months, and he ended up getting 3 to 6 years or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, that's 100% the only thing that's literally, say for instance, right. I don't want to jinx anything, but in our family, it's always a life for a life. So my nana died November 2nd last year, and her birthday was November 4th. And the boy's original birthday or arrival day was November 4th. Now they've pushed it back to November 1st, I think. November 2nd or 4th is what we're all hoping for. So the day my nana died is in November the 2nd, which will be a nice sort of touch, you know, that
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
a definite life for a life. But 100%, if he has my nana's birthday, that's just like, you can't write that stuff. That's like a 1 in 365 chance, in it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're all hoping for. But yeah, I just want him here now. It's getting to the point where I'm like waiting for the phone to ring.
You're getting agitated.
No, not agitated. I just want him here. I just can't wait. I'm like overexcited. You know, like when you were a kid at Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
A kid at Christmas when you're getting ready to open your presents, or the night before you'd be sitting there, or you go maybe
Buzzing.
you go and sleep in your parents' bed when you're a kid, or what we used to do was my mum would get up, make a brew for her and dad. Mum would get the recorder ready, the camcorder, and then ring it,
Okay, that's going back a couple of years.
and then go, right, he's been. Me and my brother were sat, so my dad was sat like this, arms out. We were both sat, each one of us on his chest, waiting, talking, and my dad's obviously just waking up, but we're all sat there. Then my mum would go, right, we'd run down the stairs. My dad would come like 5, 10 minutes later. Obviously, he'd get changed and come down, have a brew, watch us open our presents. The excitement, we'd both usually get bikes. We'd rush outside, both be riding them. Mum and obviously my dad at the time. And that excitement that we had from there is what I'm feeling now for him. I'm just hoping everything goes well. That's all I'm hoping. Punish me for the next 40 years.
It's all you can do, mate, is hope. Do you know what I mean?
Well, hope's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
But for me, I'm also realistic. And worst case scenario, if everything's not okay, we'll deal with it as is. Do you know what I mean?
It's all you can do.
But yeah, I'm not apprehensive. I'm just excited, like a kid at Christmas. And then I'm going to have a kid that we can have at Christmas. Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to be his first Christmas at a month and a half old. And Beth was like, "Should we get him presents?" I went, "You can fuck off. Fuck right off. He's got enough shit to last him till he's 10-year old." Off everyone that was so generous and so kind that came to the baby shower. Massive shout out to all you guys as well for on behalf of Beth and myself. Massive shout out to the Knights as well, coming in clutch last minute with the floor downstairs. Because originally the room we're in, if we could show you, they've got carpet in here ready to put up. They've got furniture that's only just turned up, I think, I think it just turned up this morning. So this is going to be their new function room. And basically, for the World Cup, they're going to get a big telly up. But this was supposed to be finished in August,
Somewhere around there, yeah.
July, August or something. And obviously, it's delayed at the moment. Or it was supposed to be the back of August, start of September. But obviously, it's been delayed. And the floor got ripped up on Friday. Sorry, Thursday, the floor got ripped
So
up.
were they open Thursday night, Friday night? Oh, yeah, they were
Yeah,
open Friday
they
night.
had that black tape. They black taped the floor, and then they had carpet in for the Friday or Thursday, and they put carpet in as even just as a temporary downstairs, and that then enabled obviously everyone to have the baby shower downstairs. So they basically shut the whole spot downstairs unless it was for the baby shower. So massive shout out to the Knights for sort of coming in clutch really late on, but I just it's mad how much shit he's got. Literally, we need to buy another house. Honestly.
Just get a storage container.
Well, I'm thinking now, I think you can rent them for £50 a week. So, I mean, it is expensive, but you're probably best off buying another house. Could do that just for having shit in it. But, yeah, so going forward, and what we'll do is the last topic, and we'll probably run this for like 15, maybe 20 minutes. Kia, have you got any, or how do I phrase it? Have you got any sort of future knowledge of guests that you would like on the podcast? Obviously, I know we know about some that are willing to come on soon, but is there any person that you could pick out of Barrow, Ulverston, Dalton, or just in general that you would want to come on the podcast? It's on the spot.
Put me on the spot there,
It's a
mate.
bit on the spot, mate, but don't worry, we've got all the time in the world. People that are listening on Spotify, listen to the soothing voice of one of your hosts, Benji. And then you're going to listen to the other soothing voice, Kia McCarter. No, that's another stream that we need to
We're
do.
not doing ASMR.
That's another one we need to do at some point just to annoy everyone. But yeah, mate, is there a guest
I'd
that
like to get Steve Bell on.
Yeah. So
Just to ask, obviously, because when I've been to the gym and I've looked at the equipment, it's all Italian.
what idea have we got going forward that includes Steve, but also
Yeah, I know that, but it's
so
not.
no,
There's
tell the people the idea. Tell them.
what getting a backstory for each of the sponsors and discussion about it on one of the future episodes.
Yeah. So
But what I'm saying is, I'd like to get him on and let him discuss about it as well. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think that would be good. I also know his schedule is rammed.
Well, yeah, I
He's
know that.
literally never free, especially for an hour. So, but yeah, I agree. That would be a very good one. Obviously, one that I want to see recently because it's been very local and only recently is obviously Nathan Lippert at Bioskin. So he has just opened up a shop, I think about a few weeks ago now, and he's selling out almost every day. It's in, to be fair, when he opened the shop, I thought that location's not great. Big main road, no parking. You can't just pull up outside the shop. It's tucked away on the corner initially. He was having loads of problems with the building, of the windows and all this stuff.
Yeah, I seen the video of him prodding the window frame and it falling apart.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, he's turned it round. Obviously, I've just been in there today to pick some stuff up for Beth again, and his mum's great. She helps out a lot. But yeah, he's come and said that he wants to come on as a guest, and we're all for promoting sort of the local and people that take risks, and also I want to speak to him about the mental struggle he's had and decisions starting up a shop and a business.
Yeah. Well, so I know a bit of his backstory about that, with what's gone on with him whilst he was doing that. Obviously, I'm not going to go into it because it's not my place. I'll let him discuss that if that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's so around here. For those of you that are unaware, I think he was on telly one at one point.
I think so.
I don't know what it was over, but someone told me that he went on telly, or they'd commented on one of his videos underneath saying it's like you on telly again on one of his live videos or something. I can't really remember. I'd only just seen it, but I we sort of grew up with him, didn't we? Really, he was in our school,
Well,
wasn't
I lived over. So when I lived on Cloisters growing up, he lived like over the road and like down a bit. So I've known like his whole family from a young age.
he? Yeah, and for me, I think it's nice to see, and for us, where like I say, we're all about promoting the youth and keeping it local, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
sort of one of the goals for us. But I do think it'll be good to get him on and let him sort of tell us and tell the people that maybe don't know a bit of backstory about him, but also tell people why he wanted to start up the business in the first place. Because for me, I sometimes think the backstory is more important than what he's actually doing now.
yeah. I know what you mean.
Because it's led to that point, and it. So, say for instance, like I say, you're in the position that you're in now. But if anything, the backstory of that is probably more important because that's what's led you to now.
Yeah,
So for me, I'm very big on people coming on and expressing themselves and letting people know why they're doing what they're doing.
everything happens for a reason
It's the same as us. Well, why did we start this?
because we were all firm believers at the time that men's mental health is important. That was the main thing at the time when it first. Men's mental health.
And the thing is, as well, though,
It didn't really get spoke about.
no, it didn't. And I sometimes think we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes as well because we're doing something that maybe people are scared to do. But
Yeah. For me, don't get me wrong, I was shitting myself when I first ever came on, like for the first couple of months.
I also think though that it's helped us, and then that's helped us potentially transition the podcasters into help others and bring other people up. And because obviously, as you were aware, and as you said rightfully so, our initial thing at first was basically speaking about men's mental health and our struggles. But
Yeah.
then because we were doing that, we then started getting other people coming on and speaking about their troubles, and then it ended up, sort of growing arms and legs, and then becoming this sort of platform where we promote youth. We speak about the struggle whilst doing that, but then we're also, I feel, relatable to the average, normal, everyday guy.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If we could, I'd love to do this for a living. But I mean, just because you're helping people,
Yeah.
I don't think there'd ever be a day that I would hate it. And we haven't so far. How long did we do this? How long were we doing this just for the crack for free? And no one sort of had faith in us, so to speak. And then we started getting people, liking what we did and showing faith in us, which is obviously
Yeah.
our sponsors. Make sure you go and check them out at the end of the podcast.
And also, it's okay not to be okay.
That's a song as well, isn't it? But it is true, mate.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sometimes like to obviously make jokes about little sayings like that. And but I'm a firm believer that when you're not okay, you should speak about it. I know it's
And I
difficult.
know not everybody likes to. Me, I was prime example a couple of months ago.
But then once again, it's ironic though, isn't it? Because you're on a podcast helping people out as well, but then you're not following almost your own advice because your own advice is the hardest to follow.
Oh, no, exactly. I followed your advice because you said you were going to break my legs.
Pretty much. It's only because I know that it's a bit different for us, right? All jokes aside, it's a bit different for, say, me, you, Josh, and even when Mole was on it, Mole or me dad or your family or whatever, because they know you, so they know what you're like when you're not feeling like that. So it's almost like they can sometimes say, snap out of it, sorry, and then you can also put an arm round, and then there's like 6 different ways you can handle it. But not everybody watching has the advantage of people knowing them that well. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
So, say for instance, me, I knew that when there was times to put my arm around you, but I also knew when there was times where you needed telling, stop being a like man up sort of thing. That I know that doesn't necessarily work, but because
No,
I
I
know
knew
you,
I knew what you meant.
yeah, because I know you, I sort of knew when to push and when not to push.
Yeah.
But I'm just fascinated by how everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, we've had McKinley on, 12-year-old little entrepreneur doing car washing. That I need to go and see him, and actually need to book in with him on the weekend. Because every time I go, I keep forgetting it's just cash. I never have cash on me.
Thought I would have been investing in a card reader by now.
I think you might do in the end. I think you can get them on your phone, sum up, can't you? But
Yeah.
I need to go and see him on the weekend, and obviously he's going to come across struggles as he gets older. But then obviously,
Bet he's got a couple of metal tins under his bed that are full.
of course it is. But then we spoke to his mum as well. Do you know what I mean? We had his mum on just so he was safe, and obviously
Yeah.
everybody knew. But then we had his mum on, and she was saying obviously about her struggles of dealing with a lot of attention with such a young guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we've had Johnny on who, is a game around here, and he's really interested in trying to grow his channel and trying to break it and do it for real. And we've had Mole who's broke into the 1,000 subscriber on YouTube, where he now, he can now make money from it and monetize his content. And then we've had us. We all started the podcast, and then next thing you know, we've got loads of people that are interested in the podcast and wanting to show the support and support us and sponsor us and help us get equipment. And
It's like that though. Every time we go out, at least like 5 or 6 people come up to us throughout the night, if not more, and ask like, "Do you do the podcast?"
yeah,
It's like, who was it I seen the other week? I was walking home after taking Harrison. Oh, I forgot what he's called. He usually comments on the podcast. Is it Richie?
Rich Hall.
Could be.
Yeah, Richard Hall. Yeah,
I think it could be. He got dropped off on Greengate Street
yeah, Rich Hall.
and he walked down that street behind Batty's where the new builds are.
Sutherland Court.
I think so, yeah. He was walking down, he was going home.
Yeah.
And I literally didn't even know him. And he went, "Do the podcast, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Recognise you. I comment all the time."
The thing is, even just sometimes getting that. So we might help his entire week. We might help his entire day. We might help his entire 10 minutes on his phone. And for me, for an hour out your day, a week. Don't get me wrong. I know we sometimes, which is what we're working on. We sometimes do a lot of background planning, but we also sometimes don't. For an hour of a week or an hour and a half a week to potentially help however many people come and watch the podcast, that's a small price to pay for me. And from the way I see it, we were doing this before anyone was watching.
Exactly.
We'd stream on our phone in my living room or in the nines or wherever for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, and we'd have 0 viewers for pretty much 90% of it. And now I don't know what the averages. I've not actually had a look at the analytics in a long time.
I've not either, to be honest.
But because I think they've changed the way Facebook looks, haven't they? So it doesn't come up like it used to.
No.
But I mean, you can't. I just think it's a very easy thing for us to potentially reach out and do, because I'm a big believer in you've got to give back with either your talents or your work ethic and so on and so on. So for me, it's very important to me to sort of give it back. But like I say, I've just got to give a massive shout out to you guys that have watched the podcast and are still watching, or for those of you that are on Spotify that have made it to the end of the podcast and are still listening and tuning every week. Make sure that if and when you do tune in every week, that you do like it. But that is where we are going to end this week's episode of the JBK podcast. I've been half of your hosts.
I've been your other half
and he is the
of
other
the
half.
podcast tonight.
The better half, unfortunately. We usually have a trio, but either way, working. But yeah, massive shout out to our sponsors: Lakeside Fire and Security, Northwest Plumbing and Heating, TNT Records, and Transform Physiques Gym. And let's not forget, last but certainly not least, the Knights, the home of the podcast. They will have their function room up and running for the World Cup this year, so you do not want to miss it. Like I say, we have been the JBK podcast, and we will be back again next week, Monday, 6 p.m. Make sure you do not miss it.
Peace.
Peace.